to our office and fill out some paperwork, because we're not allowed to do that without your permission. So will you come in and talk to us?
If I can get a chance, yes, sir. Now, here, can I say something else?
Sure.
Okay, the last time about that 19-year-old girl. The only reason she's getting all this because she doesn't know how to count change. She doesn't know how to count. So she's getting all this stuff, and like I'm saying, I mean, I've talked to people that I work with that are around my age, some a few years older than me, and we talk about this at work.
Yeah. Let me help you with that one, David.
Yeah.
We passed a piece of legislation last winter, right before the Christmas holidays, and we sent it to the Senate, that would require for a person to draw unemployment insurance, the states would have the authority, number one, to require drug testing. Number two, the states would have the authority to demand that that person be in some kind of training program so that they can get the basic skills necessary to get a job. So in the case of the young girl that you're talking about, under the law that we had it passed, the Senate, and the President signed it, she would not have been able to draw unemployment or assistance unless she was in a training program to remedy that situation that you just talked about. The unfortunate thing is that legislation never made it out of the Senate because the Senate refused to take it up. You know, we're talking about a Senate that hasn't passed a budget in nearly 3 years. We've sent numerous pieces of legislation, like the one I just mentioned, over 30-plus jobs bills. We have voted 33 times to repeal all or part of the President's health care law and put common sense, patient-centered health care reform solutions in place that will keep your Medicare benefits in place and that will also keep your medical decisions between you and your doctor. But we can't get the Senate to even talk to us about those pieces of legislation. So I would encourage you to write a letter to Sherrod Brown and ask him to ask his leadership there in the Senate to take up these pieces of legislation, and let's get the ball moving forward so that we can address some of these problems like you're talking about. Hey, let me give you the results of the question that I asked you. I asked you that I said businesses all up and down the Ohio River are telling me that excessive government regulations are keeping them from hiring and expanding and growing their businesses. And I asked you if you support cutting federal government red tape so that businesses can more easily start up, hire, and expand. Nearly 95% of you said yes. I appreciate that feedback. That again gives me some idea of the direction that I should take with regulatory reform, so I appreciate that. This is Congressman Bill Johnson, and I'm really glad you guys are on the call tonight. We've got time for one more question. We're going to go to Sandy down in Pleasant City. Hi, Sandy. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Okay.
I have my question. My question relates to the health care. First, I want to say I'm totally against Obamacare. However, I work for a small trucking company in Cambridge, and we pay half of our health care. The employer pays the other half. My half is $80 a week, by the way. I also have a son in college, and I have to have a separate policy for him. My husband, who is 74 years old, still drives a truck for a living. He luckily has Medicare. But we're spending out of pocket at least 25% of our gross income, and that includes his Social Security benefits for health care. What is your thought process on people like us who fall through the cracks, non-union jobs, and all that kind of stuff?
Sandy, very good question. The first thing that I'll tell you is that the Republican-led House's plan, the plan that I support, is not a 3,000-page bill that we will have to pass it before we can determine to all Americans. But the way that the administration has gone about it is not the right way. The Supreme Court has validated that the President's health care law amounts to one of the largest tax increases on the American people in America's history. And it's 40% of America's businesses are saying that that's why they're not growing and expanding their business, because of the exact reasons that you just gave. But you asked me what my specific solutions are, and here they are. And this is kind of a 30,000-foot view. I support a plan that will increase Americans' ability to invest in health savings accounts with pre-tax dollars, so that they can pay for much of their routine health care at a cost much less than purchasing a big, massive health insurance policy. And they can actually use some of that health savings account money that's put away with pre-tax dollars to pay for over-the-counter medications, to pay for a massive or crisis healthcare policy for things like heart attacks and cancers and those kinds of things. That's number one, investment in health savings accounts. Number two, let's keep our doctors in the operating and the treatment rooms rather than in the courtrooms by eliminating frivolous lawsuits. We need tort reform so that malpractice insurance will be driven down, the cost of health care will be driven down, and we will see practitioners able to stay in business and make health care continue to be high quality, but make it affordable and accessible to everybody. Number three, one of the biggest tenets of my plan is to put competition back into the system. Let's make these health insurance companies have to compete for your business. You should not be a captive audience. Let's make health care portable from state to state and job to job. When competition comes in, quality goes up, cost goes down. That's a good thing. Now, I will tell you that there's a couple of things that I think we should consider keeping. Things like pre-existing conditions. I don't believe that it's right for a health insurance company to be able to exclude someone from coverage because of a pre-existing condition. Many Americans don't have a choice in the kind of health that they're born with, and it's unfair to them to be singled out and treated differently because they have a pre-existing condition. So I think that that's a good thing, and it's something that we should consider in any kind of health care reform. I also think it's a good idea in today's economy where you've got 50% of America's college graduates either unemployed or underemployed to be able to stay on their parents' health insurance policy until they're age 26. Now, that's not a mandate. I wouldn't mandate that that's the case, but I would give families the option so that they can do that if they want to. What I would not do is what this president did when he signed that law into effect, which is to cut $500 billion out of Medicare to pay for it. $200 billion of that came out of Medicare Advantage, which put about 36,000 people along the Ohio River at risk of seeing reductions in their health care benefits. So those are some of the ideas that I have. I'm sure that there are others, but I can tell you that I'm going to continue to work hard. Like I said earlier, I have voted 33 times to repeal all or part of the President's health care law. I'm going to continue to work hard to do that and to make sure that we get the patient-centered private sector reforms. I didn't say privatization. I said private sector. Our free enterprise economy solutions so that it keeps your medical decisions between you and your doctors, not in the hands of a bunch of unelected bureaucrats here in Washington, D.C. So I hope that answers your question. Folks, we run out of time, and I want to thank everyone for joining the call this evening. I thought, again, we had a very good discussion. I appreciate all your questions and comments. If you remember one thing from today's call, I want you to remember this. Empowering our job creators to do what they do best, creating jobs, is one of my top priorities. Whether that's through regulatory reform, tax reform, getting the federal government out of the way. I want to continue to work hard to bring jobs to eastern and southeastern Ohio, and you've got my commitment to do exactly that. If you didn't get a chance to ask your question tonight, and you still have a comment or concern, leave us a voice message. You'll be able to do that when the call ends. You can also email me through our website at www.billjohnson.house.gov, or you can give us a call toll free 1-855-376-0868. And if you're having trouble with a federal agency, we might be able to help you with that, so feel free to reach out to us and give us a call. Thanks again, folks. It's been a great discussion. God bless you.